Hey guys, what's going on? This is Jas Leverette of California K9 Solutions, aka Cali K9 and Canine Intervention on Netflix. Today I want to just talk about confidence building. Now, a big part of my business is helping people with their dog's confidence. Every dog needs to build confidence. I think confidence has to be the most important element in dog training altogether, because a lot of times if a dog will sit or down or come, but if he's not confident in a certain particular area, then all the obedience is out the window. They're going to run away, they're going to be scared, so on and so forth. So the big thing we try to talk about is confidence building. Now, in the Cali K9 system, I have 5 pillars: obedience, socialization, agility, behavior modification, and problem-solving technique. When you're talking about confidence, you see dogs that get reactive. Now, a lot of times people think, oh, my dog's protecting me, and my dog's being aggressive because it's my protector. Well, most of the time, I mean, I deal with real true protection dogs and police dogs, and there's a certain type of confidence that those dogs naturally have, so they would not necessarily react the way some dogs react. So if your dog is barking at noises, if it's barking at new dogs, if it's barking at strangers or people who live on the street, whatever the case may be, most of the time your dog is just scared. So what happens is the dog needs to be introduced to whatever it is slowly. But it's most important to make sure you have that pack leadership established, because if you establish that pack leadership and that communication, then your dog will feel a lot more secure when you say, it's okay, buddy, it's okay. Okay, so you have to make sure that you get the dog comfortable with you, and this is why obedience is our first step. We want obedience to be the first step because we want that dog to know that it has a job. By giving it a job, it has a purpose, and it has its mind focused on something else. If you allow your dog to just hyper-focus on what it's scared of, then you're gonna deal with the dog just locking in on that. So if we keep our dog engaged and motivated, then our dogs will be able to get over the things that they're fearful of. Now, a lot of times dogs are scared of dogs, and you think that the dog is dog aggressive, when in reality, the dog is just insecure. And because it can't run on the leash, fight or flight response. So when they're on the leash, they can't flight, they're stuck. So that's where their only option is to fight. And this is where the dog kind of defaults to say, when I fight, the problem goes away, I feel better, and everything is better. But for you, on the end of the leash, now you have a dog that everywhere you go, your dog's going crazy. So for little dogs, not such a big deal. A lot of times I see a lot of little dog owners, they're gonna overlook it, they'll say, oh, it's okay, it's just my little guy. But when you have a dog over 60 or 70 pounds, that dog can pull you down, that dog can cause damage to somebody, could be a liability. So it's so important to make sure that you have your dog's behavior in check. And most aggression comes from insecurity. I swear, over all the years I've been training dogs since 2010 professionally, and all the dogs that I see with the insecurity is the ones who have most of the aggression. Police dogs and so on and so forth, those dogs have a natural confidence, plus they've been built up doing the police service dog work, so it's just everything they do is very confident, plus their genetics are very confident. So they're usually not even worried so much about dogs and other things like that, because they've already been exposed to it so much. So the key is exposure, exposure, exposure. If you're from one part of a neighborhood and you're insecure with someone down the street, you gotta go down the street and go meet those friends. Let's go make sure that we have a good experience and a positive association with that experience. And that's all that's happening with the dog. Until a dog has been socialized correctly, then the dog is gonna have uncertainty. And what happens is, when we do socialize our dogs, we can go backwards if we don't do it correctly. You know, a lot of times people like to take their dogs to dog parks, and then they'll just let the dog go and go figure it out. Whereas sometimes that might not end up in such a great situation where the dog might get jumped on by another bigger dog. Now that dog has had a negative experience with other dogs in the dog park. So we want to make sure that we micromanage that dog's process to where they never had negative experiences. We want to make sure we control the environment, and we want to make sure we set the dog up for success. Because at the end of the day, just like your children, you want to make sure your dog is having the best experience possible. Now, the obedience and the socialization, that's when we introduce the distractions. And socialization can be anything from skateboards to bicycles to other dogs to slick floors to any type of noise, blow dryers, garbage trucks, you name it. Whatever your dog might be scared of, we need to work on that confidence. Confidence is huge when it comes to the dog actually being able to stay focused, stay engaged, So we like to introduce lots of socialization. The other thing is agility training. Agility training is clutch when it comes to the dog having a trust for you, doing new obstacles. So if it does 20 obstacles with you confidently, then it's going to be a lot more confident going into new situations with you in that being confident. So again, obedience, socialization, and agility are clutch. Now, the behavior management is super huge and important as well, because even though the dog knows the behavior, the dog needs to know that certain behaviors are okay, certain behaviors are not okay. And you're going to reinforce and block behaviors based on whatever kind of situation you're in. So the dog knowing that it has to have some restraint and a little bit of composure and control and some impulse control is going to be very important to its confidence as well. When a dog is just getting away with murder, a lot of times the dog will, it's just like a kid, you know, they need structure. So if you give the dog structure, that will be the confidence building tool that are going to be super crucial to your dog's training system. So if we're talking about obedience, we're going to get our basic commands, our place command, our sit, our down, our stand, our heel, and then we incorporate the no. So the no is important because when the dog may goof off or lose focus, we'll tell the dog no, we restart the dog, and we start to reinforce the behavior doing it the right way. So that's going to be super great tool to establish what you need for your dog's confidence, first step. Second is going to be that socialization. We're going to get the dog in its place, sit focused. We're going to make sure that we're incorporating every distraction that the dog is eventually going to face living day to day. And you can't always run from the things you're scared of. So, you know, there's going to be a day you're going to have to face your fears. So it's better to just introduce them gradually at the right pace. So every dog is different. We train every kind of breed, and the way we look at dogs is by the temperament. There's 16 dimensions of temperament. So in the temperament, you might have dogs that are very hyperactive and very energetic, but they're not super social with new people. So we're going to make sure that when you have that obedience and that's in there, that your dog is going to be super nice with listening to the commands and understanding how to get its rewards. Then we're going to incorporate lots of agility. Sometimes we'll go over things, go under things, go in between things, and all of this is going to challenge your dog, but at the end they come out victorious. And after doing it 3 or 4 times, the dog becomes more and more confident to where it's not even a big deal. So we really love to do things that kind of push the dog. Again, sometimes it can be a little bit stressful in the beginning stage of learning, but eventually the dog comes out more victorious and more confident. So super huge part of the confidence building process. And in the process of teaching the dog new behavior, we're also going to catch them when they get off focus or when they get distracted. We'll make sure that we keep them engaged and allow them to get over whatever it is that might have them distracted. So they'll be so focused on you and the engagement and the motivation that they won't be worried so much about what it is they might be insecure about. Because that's really what it comes down to it. If the dog is not confident, the dog is usually a little insecure, and we have a remedy for that. The remedy is exposure, exposure, exposure. But you have to do it in a nice type of slow way, because you don't want to go from 0 to 100 too fast. You want to gradually build the dog up so the dog is not going to be so nervous. You might take him back way further if you don't introduce him too correctly. So you want to make sure everything that you introduce, whether it's a hair blow dryer, whether it's another dog, whether it's noises, whatever the case may be, we want to really incrementally introduce it to the dog so the dog doesn't feel the need to avoid and run or be reactive. We want to get the dog into that dopamine state by getting them super motivated by their treat, their ball, or their praise. And you want to start to expose them to whatever it is that they might not be comfortable with very slowly and gradually. So that's a little bit about confidence today. If you guys want to learn more, you can check out our website, CaliK9.com. We have so many more YouTube videos you guys can explore. If you're interested in training, you're in the California area, go ahead and give us a call, come on down. And if you're anywhere in the world, you can take our online training. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Peace.